Okay, I want to level with you real quick on knowledge base. I see this a ton, and I feel like we're getting into the part of the AI cycle where the builds are becoming more competitive. And how do you build the best AI for your client the fastest way and the most reliable way? Because that's what we all want, right? We want an AI that we train once and we never touch again. The key to this all, to every bit of it, is going to be in RAG, aka knowledge base, right? So I want to give you an example that can kind of bring this home. If I gave you a one question test, there was one question on it that you had never seen before, and I put a textbook beside you, and I said, you have 1 minute to answer the question. Would you be able to find that? Would it be super easy for you to answer that question? Or if I gave you a phone and said, Google the question and get the answer back, and you have to complete the test in 1 minute, which one would you choose? So this is how RAG works, right? This is exactly what knowledge base does. When you stuff all of that information in the prompt, that's like having the textbook next to you. It makes it very clunky. It takes a long time, and there's a lot of room for hallucination there, right? Because there's a lot of information that is not necessary on a per run basis, right? The idea of building a scalable agent, a reliable assistant, is the fact that we're only pulling in proper context when we need it, right? Think of knowledge base as that Google search in a way. And I don't want you to think of it as an objective Google search. This is done systematically. The idea here is the prompt is for instruction. The prompt is for personality. The prompt is not necessarily for context, right? That can be done via RAG. And so the way RAG works is that we take in all this information that you give us, we assign it some sort of question answer probability, right? And when something comes in, a query, somebody says something, we go to your knowledge base and we say, hey, have we seen this before? Have we seen something like this before? And then we return the top 5 answers, and then we give it to the AI on the per run basis and say, hey, when you answer this, by the way, here's 5 examples of how you probably should answer it. That's how RAG works. It's super, super scalable. And I'm going to show you that here. So let me go to the screen. I just thought I'd level with you there. I see a lot of people who have a lot of hallucination issues in their deployments, or there's unreliable information answering. And I'm telling you, it all comes down to the way that you use your knowledge base and first off, using it, right? You can use these third-party tools, like we have that tool for the build your own RAG system, but it's a tool call. There's latency there. It can be used, but it's almost used as like a third-party kind of run, where on our native RAG system, even though it's $15 for voice and it's unlimited use, you could share it between all your assistant. There is it's so much better. There's literally no latency on the chat or voice side, right? So I thought we'd do an example today of how to properly take this information and put it in the knowledge base and then use it, and you can kind of see that answer, right? Where I'm just going to keep this as my prompt. Seriously, this is going to be my prompt. We're going to stuff this full of information. And then, right, by the end of that, once all the information is there, then it's like we have all this room for instruction and personality, right? Verbiage. That's where building AI becomes fun. That's where they become a little bit human. The knowledge is going to be where you throw all that stuff, because the prompt is going to be for instruction and personality. So I've done my little rant here. Let's go. We're going to use Van Staal as an example company here. I am a huge fan of Van Staal. If you can't tell, there's one in the background right there. I have a collection of them. And these are some very nice saltwater fishing reels. They're sealed. They're very, very cool. They're high ticket, right? So what I want to do on here is I'm going to try to get as much information as I can pulled from here, structured in this knowledge base, so that we can build Van Staal here, a very, very nice voice AI assistant that a customer can call into for question and answer. And then you can kind of see the knowledge base in action there. So first, we have our assistant here. We need a knowledge base. So I'm going to go here, create a knowledge base, Van Staal. This isn't a perfect example. It's not a perfect example. It's really not. Like I just didn't know what else to choose here. let's use van install. We'll go ahead and scrape the site. We'll say main index. Now on voice right now, we just have text-based and URL-based data that's going to the voice side for streaming. So these files and these FAQs will be in chat, but they won't be in voice. So if you're doing a voice deployment and you want your knowledge base to work, use either this text or this URL. Okay, so we're gonna get the van install on there, and let's go down here. I see some contact us pages, some shipping information, warranty policy, return policy, accessibility statement, schematics, and sure, that's fine. Let's take this contact us page, let's throw it in here. And let's do shipping information. Sorry, this may be boring, but I mean, it's not hard to do, but I'm telling you, it'll take your building to the next level. I see a lot of people not using it, and you know, teach their own and all, but problems that you have, and if you don't have that, you're going to have in scalability, will eventually come up, right? Because the idea for the prompt is so that we can give it proper instruction. We want it to follow that instruction very, very well. Where the context can just be pulled on a permanent basis, we do that for you. So let's go to the return policy here. And accessibility statement, sure. And I'm not going to do schematics. That's fine. Now, the other thing that I may do, let me go into here to see if there's any. I wonder how many reels they have. So there's 7. So we may even actually be able to do it on a per product basis too. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up Claude here. Another thing I like to do is you can take either documents you already have, site scripts, whatever, and then come here in Claude and ask it to build you a RAG friendly or knowledge base friendly information question set. So I'm going to go here and say I am building a voice bot for Von Stahl, the fishing reel company. Can you give me some Q and A's on Van Stahl? Any format optimized for RAG. All right. And then while that does that, I mean, we'll just see if we can get some like product specific information here. Let's go here, site scrape. This is VSX2. I probably should have put the sub product, but that's fine. And sorry if this is boring. I'm trying not to make it be, but I genuinely think that that understanding or having this skill set is like huge, because we have some enterprise deployments that are coming up, and the biggest selling point was RAG, right? Where for them scaling an assistant is, you know, to multiple locations is huge, and the ability to really focus in on the prompt for, you know, not having hallucinations and stuff like this. This is a big company, is huge. So being able to focus a lot of that in RAG is helpful. And going through there and just kind of setting up something like this wasn't hard. It took 30 minutes or so, and it worked absolutely phenomenally. And I have no doubt that you could go out there and you could do the same thing and really help somebody out. Okay. So let's take this, put it in as text, and we'll say Q and A's, text based, and we'll say, okay, can you give me consumer type questions? Like, I'm a customer asking questions about the reels and the use cases, and give that to me in rag optimized JSON. Right? We'll let that generate and we'll put that in there too. Okay, so we're done generating there. Let's upload this. Q and A, JSON style. Okay, and those are all embedding. You can see all this information starting to load in all of these different places. It's very, very cool. If we want to go in here and see what we're pulling from this, we can see all of the information here, right? And this is pretty much done. Now what I'll go here, I'll enable this for voice. And what this is going to do is make this usable by voice AI, right? So let's go to this Van Stall example. Let's add this to the assistant. And I need a phone number. So let's use one of these phone numbers that I have just sitting around. Okay. Now, while this knowledge base loads, so just put information in it, I'm going to give it about 5 minutes and then we'll call it and then we'll test it out. I may even here for just like proper context, again, personality, identity. Let's say you are a customer service rep for Van Stall. That's it. I'm going to save those changes, give the knowledge base some time to load, and then come back when these are done. All right, so it's mostly done. Let's go in here and let's just test the results real quick. So you can go in here to kind of optimize answers, by the way. So if you have something that's super, super specific, so like the question is, will sand damage this? As an example, we can kind of see how everything is working, right? So we see we're getting proper answers to this, right? Like this is a perfect answer. That's the reason you buy a Van Stall is you get it where sand and salt water doesn't damage it. Salt water damages literally everything. Can this be used in fresh water? Look at that. I mean, these are awesome answers. Exactly what we need, right? And I think we have one or two finishing in there. You see they're storing vectors, but let's go ahead and just call this one and we'll just test it out. So let me get this one a ring. 470-516-7023.
Thank you for calling Von Stall. This is Jordan Williams. How can I assist you today?
Hey, I was looking at buying, one of your reels. I want to use it for salt water, and I just want to make sure that these would be able to do it.
Absolutely. Van Stall reels are specifically designed for saltwater fishing and are known for their durability in harsh conditions. They feature a completely sealed and waterproof design which keeps salt, sand, and water out of the internals. This makes them perfect for surf fishing, offshore fishing, or any saltwater environment. You can even submerge the reel underwater without any damage. If you have any specific questions about models or features, I'd be happy to help.
Yeah, if I wanted to send you an email, where would I send an email to?
You can send an email to support@vanstall.com for any inquiries or assistance. The team typically responds within 24 hours during business hours, which are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. EST. Let me know if you need help drafting your email.
No, that's fine. Um, I was curious if
All right.
I'm looking to get like tuna. So I'm just gonna give you a scenario. I want to fish like tuna or tarpon, which are very very big fish. What reel size would I get?
Great question. For big game fish like tuna or tarpon, you'll want a reel with plenty of line capacity and a powerful drag system. The larger Van Staal reels, such as the 250 or 300 size, are excellent choices for this type of fishing. For tuna, these reels are perfect for bluefin, yellowfin, and other large pelagic species. They can handle the strength and speed of these fish, and their waterproof design is ideal for offshore environments with constant spray. For tarpon, the 250 or 300 size reels also work well for tarpon, providing the drag power and durability needed to battle these hard-fighting fish. If you're fishing from a boat, the VR series is another great option, as it offers versatility with a traditional bail system. Let me know if you'd like more details or recommendations.
So I'm curious on your return policy.
Of course. Here's a quick overview of our return policy. Eligibility. Returns are accepted for items purchased directly from the Van Staal website, vanstall.com, within 30 days of purchase. The items must be unused, undamaged, non-customized, and returned in their original packaging process. All returns must be initiated through our returns portal. Once approved, you'll receive a prepaid shipping label and a packing slip to include with your return. Shipping returns must be dropped off at a UPS drop-off point. If you don't have access to UPS, you'll need to cover the return shipping costs yourself. Refunds are processed within 10 business days of receiving the return and will be issued to the original payment method. Please note that original shipping costs are non-refundable. Exclusions. Returns are not accepted for items purchased from authorized dealers or resellers. Their return policies will apply. Let me know if you have a specific question or need help with a return.
No, I think that's pretty good. Let me see if I have any more questions here. Um, so,
Take your time.
so when was Van Staal founded?
Van Staal was founded in 1992. The company was created to meet the needs of anglers who required high-performance fishing gear for extremely challenging saltwater conditions, especially for surf fishing. Let me know if you'd like to know more about the company's history or products.
Well, who owns Van Staal?
Van Staal is currently part of the Pure Fishing family of brands, which is owned by WC, Bradley Zepco Holdings, Inc. Despite changes in ownership over the years, Van Staal has maintained its commitment to producing premium saltwater fishing reels and gear. Let me know if you'd like more details.
Is Van Staal American made?
Yes, Van Staal reels are proudly manufactured in the United States, specifically in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The company is committed to supporting American workers.
All right, I think that was enough, Colin, to kind of give you an example, right? So we have an assistant with like zero, like you're a customer support rep for Van Staal, and of course, this isn't the perfect example, right? Because Van Staal is very very popular. Um, so some of those answers may just widely be on the internet, right? That the model may have, but those answers that it was giving was like almost verbatim from the knowledge base. So when you go in here and you build the idea here, and to build a proper knowledge base, you saw it took 5 minutes, right, to put all this together. Ideally, especially on the voice side, just do a handful of site scrapes, get those important pages. Don't do every site because remember, some of that information may not be good, and RAG is king when it comes to response guidelines, right? You can't tell the AI to just use your knowledge base because it has no idea the knowledge base exists. This passes a context window or like in the conversation as history, so you can tell it to use historical information that it is aware of, right, or context information it's aware of. But this is how you build a proper knowledge base. It takes 5-10 minutes, and I mean, you really can scale down your prompt. I mean, this is all information that would have been paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, right? Where we have a 45 character prompt that's able to execute on it properly. And it's not done via tool call like you see. I think GoHighLevel's AI, I'm like 99% sure their knowledge base is used via tool call. The same way that the RAG is used on the build ship thing, right? Where it's done kind of out of context. There's a lot of latency, and just not good for production grade. You saw how fast the responses were, but also accurate, right? So just use the knowledge base. If $15 is too much for you, we'll figure something out to get that client up and going, right? Like I'm telling you, you will be able to scale your assistants. You'll be able to scale your prompt. You'll be able to scale production grade AI, like we have for too many companies using the knowledge base. It's a super, super good resource. So let me come back and level you right quick. This is my spiel over the knowledge base system that we have is like super, super overdone. Like we super engineered this thing, right? It's super good. I want you to take advantage of it. It was super engineered for you. It was super engineered so that you can go out and you can sell amazing AI, make a ton of money, and have a really, really good product behind you, right? So that's how you use it in the same way chat, right? Except for you don't have to activate the $15 thing or whatever. It's the same thing, and you can use files and all. Just remember to clean your data a little bit more. When you go and you build these knowledge bases, it doesn't hurt to go in there to like a Claude or a Chat GPT and say, hey, clean this up for RAG. If it's just a document that's like, 20-page book, it doesn't hurt to put that into Chat GPT and say, hey, give this to me in question answer format. It doesn't hurt. And of course, you can always train inside the Knowledge Lab. So I hope that's super helpful. I thought it was super, super fun. It takes little to no time. I mean, we're 20 minutes in, and we have a proper, I would probably put a little bit more time into it, but we have a proper, voice AI assistant for Vanstall to use for their customer support now. So happy Tuesday. There you go.